Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk about the Reincarnationist Papers by D.Eric Maikranz. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. This is book 1 in the Reincarnationist Papers series. It's a fantasy, science fiction, historical fiction, deals with time traveling and reincarnation. So it's kind of all of those blurred lines. A spoiler-free summary for the Reincarnationist Papers. This is a book about a group of reincarnationists, and they get together. They form this society almost. They have rules, they help each other out in times of need, and they kind of meet up after every life, and they help explain things to new reincarnationists coming along. And it's such a brilliant idea. I was really interested in this idea. I think the idea was better than the actual execution, but it wasn't a bad book, and I am really looking forward to reading book 2 eventually. I first heard of this book because of the movie that was based off of this book. That is Infinite with, I think Mark Wahlberg was in that one. This book brings up some interesting questions like, what if we all are reincarnationists and just some of us remember our past lives and the rest of us don't? And the ones that we in today's society call reincarnationists are really just those that remembered their past lives. And I thought that was a really interesting a question to examine. I've been interested in the idea of reincarnation for a long time now, and so this book really piqued my interest. Let's just jump into the review of this book because that's why we're here. For characters, I loved all of our characters, but I wanted more from them. I felt like Maikranz nailed our atmosphere and setting perfectly. I knew exactly where we were. I felt it, I saw it, I smelt it, I heard it, all of the good stuff. I think he did an excellent job with atmosphere and setting. Writing style, this was a slow book. It was a very slow book, and it had footnotes, which I know a lot of people have different thoughts on them. For me, these footnotes in particular, while reading in the text, I thought it gave the material some sort of authority, like here is some sources on this information that we're telling you, so it's real, it's actually happened. It made it feel more historical and less fictional, but I'll talk more about the footnotes in just a minute when I get to the audiobook, because I did an immersion read of this. Our plot, there were some times where it felt like it was too slow, and a few times where it felt like it was too fast. But overall, aside from those few times, it felt like it was mostly good pacing. It was easy to follow until the end, where it had a whole bunch of different twists and turns that I had a really hard time following. I always was intrigued though. Even if I couldn't follow along, I was intrigued. I wanted to know what happened, why it happened, to whom and how, all of the questions. Logic and relationships, logically, yes, it all made sense to me. But our relationships, I felt like they were, again, growing really well, developing well until we get to that end where it brought up so many different questions for me. It felt like it just left it more open-ended instead of wrapping it up. And enjoyment, I liked this, but I didn't love it. But I am interested in seeing where it goes in book 2. Now, let's talk about the audiobook for a second. Our audiobook was narrated by Bronson Pinchot and Michael David Axel. I thought that their tone and pacing was absolutely fantastic. It was great. However, the way that they handled the footnotes in this, now granted, footnotes are really hard to do in audiobook, and some people can handle it well, and some people just crash and burn. I felt like the footnotes in the audiobooks were distracting from the main text because they just felt separate. They just were handled differently than I would have liked to have been handled. But overall, the audiobook is great, minus the footnotes ideas. So Overall, I enjoyed the Reincarnationist Papers. I do want to continue with that series someday when I get around to being able to continue a series. I liked it, but I didn't love it. So I've got mixed feelings about it. I'm hoping that book 2 will increase my feelings about this series. If you've read the Reincarnationist Papers, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? Did you like it like I did, or did you not like it? And let me know why also in the comments below. As always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.